Looking to stock up on high-quality Ayurvedic herbs? I've partnered with two of my trusted sources, Kerala Ayurveda and Gary & Son, to offer you 20% off their entire range of authentic products. From classical formulas to single herbs and seasonal must-haves, these are staples I use in my own practice. Use code Ojas Oasis for Kerala Ayurveda, Ojas Oasis 20 for Gary & Son. Links are in the show notes. Supporting your healing journey just got a little bit easier. In Ayurveda, nourishment isn't only about what we take in for the body, but also what we offer the heart. That's why we're honored to share Aura Cacao, a ceremonial grade cacao we've chosen as a dharmic partner for the Ojas Oasis community. Aura Cacao supports meditation, heart-opening rituals, and moments of conscious presence. As an exclusive gift for our listeners, use Ojas Oasis 20 for 20% off, and you'll find the link in the show notes. Welcome to Ojas Oasis, the podcast where ancient wisdom meets the modern being. I'm your host, Sasha Brzezinski, Ayurvedic doctor and guide on this journey into the heart of holistic wellness. Today, Erin and I integrate the knowledge of the Koshas into our modern reality. And as promised, today we spend more time on the fourth Kosha, Vigyanamaya. The word Vigyana means knowing. This layer is true intellect, intuition, wisdom, and higher awareness. Within this layer, one experiences union of spirit, realizing they are a spiritual being having a human experience. We strengthen this wisdom layer with satsang, correcting the intellect, meditation, pranayama, and kriya, svadhyaya or self-study, sacred rituals and ceremonies, prayer, and seva or selfless service. We also delve into the fifth layer, the Anandamaya Kosha. As a reminder, Ananda means bliss, so this is our bliss body. Love, peace, joy, connection, and bliss are all a constant experience here, without any reason at all. It's the experience we gain from connecting to the Atman, the true self, without masks, opinions, ideas, or identities. This layer activates when we allow ourselves to live within the Vigyanamaya Kosha and invoke the heart's intelligence. The more we focus on bringing wisdom into our lives, a state of bliss is more natural and likely to occur. We also begin exploring the second part of the subtle anatomy, known as the chakras. Chakras are energetic vortexes in the subtle energetic body located along the sushumna nadi, starting from the base of the spine or tailbone all the way up through the crown of the head. The first is Muladhara, which we felt required its own episode as the strength of the rest of the chakras rest upon this foundation. Muladhara translates as the root, whose energy flows to the rest of the chakras and sets the tone for our sense of self. Interestingly, this is the seat of Kundalini Shakti. Herein lies infinite potential, but also fear, since all fear is essentially about the unknown, and the unknown is also the infinite potential. A lot of our limitations are self-imposed, acquired through conditioning, so the Muladhara represents the possibility of liberation when we realize we have the choice to change and evolve. Daily practices and routines, often the simple ones we mention in today's conversation, help strengthen our inner stability. Disciplines like yoga asana, especially when grounding through the feet and the palms, anchor us so that experiences don't lead us off path and away from our true self. A huge part of our inner work is with this chakra, cultivating a base experience of trust over fear, safety. This chakra represents the earth element, and we hope you feel its grounding energy through this teaching. Let's get to our chat.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. I'm using that voice to wake myself up. Hi.
And
Wake up.
me too, because I'm on the other end of it where I'm here at 9 p.m., like ready to get into bed, and you're just getting your day started.
Yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. My first Monday back. Well, Happy New Year, first of all.
Happy New
How did you
Year.
spend your New Year's in India?
I literally, okay, so there was some live music, like classical Indian music playing at the place where I'm staying, which was really nice. And that was a very, very short-lived thing because I went back to my room shortly after dinner and started working on the YouTube channel, the
Mhm.
the YouTube podcast channel or the podcast YouTube channel,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it. And
Mhm.
I pretty much since New Year's Eve have not stopped working on it. Like I
Yeah.
wake up, I have breakfast, and then I work on it. And then I have lunch, and then I work on it. And I skip dinner, and I work on it until 1 a.m. So I'm doing all, you guys, this is not Ayurvedic. Like I do not recommend this, but I'm kind of in this flow state. And as you get, so here's the thing. It's really good to know the rules with Ayurveda so you know when you're breaking them, if you are in a place with your body where you can afford to break them,
Right.
and at what point do you draw a line and you stop breaking them? It's never meant to be this rigid law of having to fit your life into the confines. It's not supposed to feel like a limiting way of living.
Right. Like you can't work after dinner.
Right.
Yeah.
No screens.
Mhm.
And
It's
and
not
and
that.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
that's true, but if you're healthy and if your doshas are balanced, you can afford to do this. It's not a sustainable way of working, but you can do it for a certain duration. And you kind of have to be an Ayurvedic practitioner for a while to know when you're starting to kind of push it. And you actually, like,
Mhm.
honestly, even as a yoga practitioner, you'll feel it. You'll start feeling it. So I actually did start feeling it today. My eyes started having some
Mhm.
tension. And then I started realizing, okay, Sash, you got to
Mhm.
maybe like, let's wind it back a little bit.
Close the laptop.
Let's,
Yeah.
you're okay. Just breathe.
Yeah.
It's all going to get done.
Yeah.
And it's difficult because when you're in a flow state and you're enjoying what you're doing, you don't think that like you justify it that way. You're like, well, I'm doing something I enjoy doing. So in that
Mhm.
way, it is sattvic. But again, like this is why we did a whole episode on the koshas, because it's
Mhm.
understanding that we are these multidimensional beings. We have a body, we have all these energetic layers, and balancing all of those.
Mhm.
Sometimes we don't realize until it's too late that we've kind of pushed ourselves a little bit too hard,
Mhm.
and then we
Mhm.
pay that price, but we learn, and hopefully we apply that knowledge and that wisdom of that experience to the next. Because I've literally gotten food poisoning in India this trip 5 times. 5 times,
Oh my god.
which is like not
Oh my
normal.
god.
I mean, maybe it is for someone out there listening. Like maybe they every time they travel, but for me, I mean, it seems a little bit over the top to get five bouts of.
Oh, that's
And I
awful.
think it has something to do with it's not just the bacteria and like, yes, I'm in a foreign land and like my body's not used to it.
Mhm.
And yes, that's all true. But
Yeah.
also, I am pushing it. I had panchakarma and then I did a 200-hour yoga teacher training that was really like the schedule for that was rigorous. And then I kind of went up like in this crazy altitude. I forget exactly how high I am above sea level, but I'm in the Himalayan mountains, which already is difficult for your heart to pump oxygen up here, so
It's not just the food.
it's not just the food, it's all of it. And now it's being in the work mode, and I was supposed to work on the dissertation, quote unquote supposed to. I set that intention to work on the dissertation. That intention got interestingly replaced with another one.
Mhm.
And so it's interesting. Like you make a plan, you go somewhere, something else happens, you get rerouted. You're still on your path, but the order it just gets reordered because the YouTube was
Mhm.
always part of course, growing the podcast, reaching more people, having these conversations. The more places that they exist, obviously, the more chances are that people can discover them. and
Mhm.
relate to them. And having video is a wonderful way of relating to people, being able to see like two people talking, like face,
Yeah.
actual faces.
Mhm.
So it's all good. But all that to say, we're back to the koshas and wanting to wrap up where we left off in episode 1 of our current season, and just doing like a recap of the koshas
Yep.
and going a little bit deeper into like koshas 4 and 5,
Yep.
and as promised. And
Yeah.
then we're going to talk about the chakras, because that's another part of the
Mhm.
subtle anatomy, and it's a really nice follow up to the koshas, because this is the
Yeah.
language of the anatomy in yoga
Mhm.
and
Yep.
Ayurveda, and we talk about them
Mhm.
all the time. So I think getting people used to these words, understanding them, and this paradigm, it's going to be helpful in understanding your body and how to optimize your body in any situation that you're in, whether you're traveling
Mhm.
or you've got kids waking you up in the middle of the night,
Mhm. Mhm.
whatever it may be. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk to you about the chakras too. I especially in the new year, I actually found I haven't done this in a while. I haven't been like a resolution gal in a while.
Mm.
And I mean, I know not even everybody uses that word anymore, but for a few years I did like and this sounds very like woo woo, but I based my goals or just my, intentions, goals, resolutions around like the chakras, and that just that categorization was really helpful to me to be like, okay, things that are related to the root chakra, which is home and all these sorts of things. What do I want to achieve in that quote house? Right. Okay. And then the next one, it helped me really categorize my life into different areas to focus on. So
Mm.
I think knowing about the buckets that you can categorize your life in,
Right.
I think it's really helpful. It's a really helpful language and a really helpful organizational system, frankly, especially when many of us are in this mindset of this new year. What are the things we want to focus on? And it can be hard to start and like, okay, where do I begin? Oh, I guess like exercise and food and stuff. But if you have like a way, okay, well, there's 7 different areas that we are going to focus on within each of these buckets. What do you want to work on? It gives it it's an easier place to start when you have a framework for it.
And remember that Ayurveda is a system built on the rhythms of nature. So the fact that the sun, like this solar return, like this, all these cycles of the earth and the sun, and then our birthday is another cycle, and like each season, each solstice or each equinox or each new moon, each full moon, syncing with nature. It's so
Mm-hmm.
important because we do need to continually reboot our system. Like it's just what we need to do, and we intuitively know that. And
Mm-hmm.
yet still it's a discipline to actually do it, because there's certainly a never-ending to-do list. So to carve the time, look at the calendar, even if you didn't start on the new moon, even if you didn't start right on like Jan 1, it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. Like it's more just a reminder. And then if you can, start now. Just start when you intuitively feel you're ready to start something,
Mm-hmm.
and recalibrating. I mean, this is why also in the Vedas, fasting is a really big part of keeping the system clean. You fast like once or twice a month, just to again like give your body a break from the continuous work of digesting food constantly. I mean, most people are always digesting food even in their sleep, because a lot of people eat really late. Like they'll eat their dinner really late
Mm-hmm.
before bed, so their
Yep.
body's digesting food while they're sleeping instead of digesting micronutrients and like just cleaning the liver and like getting like rebooting the energy for the following day and getting all the toxins
Yep.
ready to be eliminated in the morning. That's really what the body
Mm-hmm.
wants to be doing, and the digestive system kind of also needs to go to bed at night. But anyway, modern lifestyle is kind of all over the place. It's very vata, and it's just the nature of the time that we're living in. So important to
Mm-hmm.
have compassion over the fact that life is messy, because the time we're living in is that way. And I will always,
Mm-hmm.
always come back to compassion with this, because we talk about the ideals, we talk about what's good for us, and then we are living in this time, in this epoch, in this yuga.
Mm-hmm.
It's Kali Yuga.
Mm-hmm.
It's a time that's inherently very confusing and heavy and lots of Maya illusion. So many, now we have AI like coming in hot, right? Like I think when I first visited you, what was it, in 2023, Chat
Mm-hmm.
GPT like just kind of became, oh, this just came out a few days ago. Did you download it? And it was like $20 a month at the time. Now it's free. Now there's all these other apps and all these other whatever coming out, versions of AI being applied in different ways. But the point being, like, now it's just completely normal. Completely
Yeah.
normal. Like how far we've come with that, and how far that's even in a year from today's conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna probably be cloned. There's probably gonna be clones of us on the internet. I
Mm-hmm.
swear to
Mm-hmm.
God, we're gonna need like security authentication proving that I am Sasha, like not AI, and you're Aaron, and you're not
Yes.
AI,
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes. Well, sometimes they even have, I mean, for some clients I work with, we use Otter and some other things, and it created like a virtual assistant for me. And sometimes my virtual assistant shows up for my meeting like before I do, or like somebody else's will. And we'll have a meeting and there's like virtual assistants taking notes for us. This is so weird.
Yeah.
And they create really great notes. It is fantastic, but it is so bizarre being like, oh, I'm so and so's not here, but their assistant is, and it's just some robot.
And we're just supposed to adapt at the speed of light because that is what the time that we're living in is asking of us. So we, as human
Yeah.
beings, it's embedded in our code to like know that adaptation is the key to survival. So we're just like, okay, we're going to adapt to this new normal now. Oh,
Yep.
another crazy thing. Okay. That's also normal now. And it'll just keep going.
Isn't it wild?
It's
What
wild.
will even exist 2 years from now? I can't even wrap my head around it.
What won't exist?
I said, what will?
Oh,
Like, like what
hopefully
will?
hopefully we still exist.
Hopefully it's still us. Yes. Yes. I hope so.
So anyway.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the koshas.
Yes.
Last time we talked, we went through the first 3 for sure, and then a bit into the 4th, which kind of was a 2-parter. And then we need, so I say we just quickly review what those first 3 are and the 4th, and then we'll dive into the 5th.
So the grossest, most outer layer of our body, of our subtle body, is the physical body. It's the body that we can see and touch and feel. And it's called the Anandamaya Kosha. And it exists. So the word ana means food. It exists because we eat food. Without food, our body would shrivel, we would wither away. We would just eventually not be able to continue living without food. Food is what literally feeds our tissues. So the next most subtle layer after the physical layer is the breath layer. This is the pranamaya kosha. So without breath, without the prana actually animating the physical body, we wouldn't be alive. So it makes sense that right after the physical body, we have the breath, because breath is what brings us to life. So it's the second most subtle, and it creates movement. It's infused with intelligent information. It's how yoga gives us vitality, right? Because we always say inhale, extend through the spine, exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. It's always inhale, exhale. Without inhaling and exhaling, it's not yoga, right? We need breath to literally yoke everything together. And yeah, I think that sums that one up pretty succinctly. Next one is Manamaya, the mind. So this is, of course, where our thoughts live. It makes sense that, again, like going from the physical body to the breath and then the mind, I mean, we're getting more and more subtle. Do you kind of see how, like, okay, I'm like you can say I'm Aaron. This is what I look like on the outside, but when you kind of zoom into Aaron, what's making Aaron come alive? It's the breath. then
Mm-hmm.
what makes Erin, what gives her the personality, it's the mind. It's her thoughts. It's how she thinks. It's her personality. This all is in that more subtle layer in the mind. Then we went into like that pseudo fourth layer, like the layer, it's kind of like layer 3.5, actually. It's not technically its own layer, but between layers 3 and 4 is our programming. So before we get to the actual fourth layer, which is called Vigyanamaya Kosha, there's this layer which is it's subconscious, I should say. It's our conditioning. It's a lot of the ideals that we learned from family, from culture. It's our emotions that kind of like give us this, false sense of knowing. We think we know. So it's pseudo wisdom. It's not real
Mm-hmm.
wisdom, but it's our sense of I know who I am based on what I have been taught,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know. Then
Yes.
as you go deeper, you go through that programming, you go a little bit deeper, you get to the actual fourth layer, the actual wisdom body,
Mm-hmm.
true intellect, true wisdom, higher awareness. And that's breaking through everything you've been taught, through all the conditioning, all the stories you've told yourself, all the narratives about yourself and your life and why things are the way they are, and what other people have told you about why things are the way they are. And you actually get to this place of experiencing the knowledge, and you no longer have to believe any affirmation. There's just knowing because you've experienced the knowing. So it's a deeper sense of knowledge, a deeper
Mm-hmm.
experience of knowledge.
I've had to explain to my kids lately what wisdom means. And it's kind
Oh,
of a hard one. It's a great question.
great question.
They ask me all the time what things mean, and you have to come up with these like very succinct definitions on the spot. So I've been thinking a lot about wisdom and having to explain the difference between, because my first instinct is to be like, oh, it's being smart. It's like it's a smartness, a knowing, but I think that word experience comes with it
That's
because
it.
somebody who is very smart isn't necessarily very wise. And again, it gets pretty nuanced, but I think that word experience is what I've had to remind myself like, okay, no, insert that in the definition somehow. Somebody who has experienced life and knows a lot by experiencing things. I don't even know how I've tried to actually explain it to them, but yeah, I think that's the key thing is the actual lived experience.
And between layers 3.5, Agyanamaya Kosha, and Vigyanamaya Kosha, that difference is humongous.
Yeah.
Like it's huge. It's you go from identifying with this ego and really thinking you're this person, and then that layer gets shed, and then you realize who you really are
Mhm.
in the
Mhm.
Vigyanamaya Kosha, which
Mhm.
is you're not this body and you're not this mind and you're not this breath. Then who are
Yeah.
you? And then
Yeah.
once you actually realize what it is you are, which is everything, it's the you are universal intelligence. Like there's no separation between you
Mhm. Yeah.
and the intelligence of the universe. Then
Mhm.
that's yoga. So it's a very deep layer to abide in.
It is. It's also I was thinking actually as I said it out loud though, I don't know if experience is necessarily the key hook when it comes to this because I also think about how babies and kids and we always talk about how they're the wise ones. They're the ones that really know. They're the purest. So it's like maybe less about the life experience and more just about like this deep inner natural knowing that's not tainted by this other layer of conditioning.
The thing is, they haven't been conditioned yet. So
Yeah.
they're more pure.
Yeah. It's like a purity of knowledge,
Yes.
not necessarily the experience of the knowledge. It's the quality and the purity of it.
The quality of their consciousness is closer to enlightenment than
Hmm.
someone with a lot of experience who
Yeah.
has not cleansed their lens
Yeah.
of the Agyanamaya, right? Like the
Hmm.
stories. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
so to get,
Somebody who's
Mhm,
old doesn't necessarily, it doesn't mean they're wise. Somebody with a lot of
mhm.
life experience doesn't mean they're necessarily wise because they may have a lot of buildup in that other layer.
It's so true. And that's why it's so important to be around kids. I mean, to have that reminder of that is the quality. That is the
Mm-hmm.
quality of enlightenment, to be curious and to explore reality and the
Mm-hmm.
truth of reality, and not be, not be so limited by practicalities all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's really important, but it's also important to go through the whole process of losing the purity and then finding it again. That is actually wisdom. So the wisdom is actually having both, going from the purity, losing it, because
Mm.
without losing it, you don't know that you had it to begin with,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
whole process creates this evolution of our consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
We are a child, we're free, we're pure, life is our oyster. And
Mm-hmm.
then we have experiences. There's no way around it. We have karmas from past lives. We have karmas from our current life. We make choices out of fear. We make choices unbeknownst to us that are actually self-deprecating or self-sabotaging, and we don't realize. And then we realize, great. And then again, it's just like, it's this
Yeah.
onion. And I love just, it's this constant, we keep reincarnating on this wheel of life, the samsara, like we keep
Mm-hmm.
coming back to get deeper and deeper and deeper to yoga. Really, it really is all about, you kind of have to lose yourself all the way to realize, wow, this is the experience that most of the people that I think, that I think are bad people, or that I think are whatever, like put any judgment you want on other people. But if we don't realize that everyone's just on a different part of the same exact journey, how are we going to really experience yoga? Because yoga is the connection between us and everybody,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And everything, every
Mm-hmm.
animal, every blade of grass, every tree, every cloud, every bird. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think the process of going from child to like messy adult, like messy in that like our consciousness is not pure anymore or whatever, like it's filled with, that's still such an important part of our growth.
Yeah.
Anyone
Yeah.
who feels like they're confused or in a state of, yeah, like a lot of people feel lost or like don't know who they are, or their life has been an amalgamation of just like cause and effect
Mm-hmm.
without any true rhyme or reason. It's just, okay, I don't know, it just kind of happened that way. That's beautiful. You're exactly where you're supposed
Mm-hmm.
to be. And then as you get to the absolute, like you think, oh, what could be even deeper than dropping your ego off and going to this place of inner knowing, is the bliss.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the essence. And we touched on how like kids are so happy with like a stick playing outside with like a puddle, like jumping into the puddle, because our essence comes, like they're still so connected to their
Yeah.
essence, which is bliss and joy.
Mm-hmm.
So as we, do this work, this inner engineering, this practice of yoga, the practice of self inquiry and self realization, we start finding that bliss for no reason at all. We just start smiling in random moments out of nowhere. There literally truly is no reason,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it's who we are, it's our
Mm-hmm.
essence.
Mm-hmm.
And so the people who achieve enlightenment stay in this state all the time. Those are the enlightened beings. And, again, because of the time we're living in, the nature of the time we're living in, it has become increasingly more difficult to achieve, like stay in
Right.
that state. A lot of things are pulling you out of that state. A
Yeah.
lot of illusions pulling you out, a lot of stimulations pulling you out.
Mm-hmm.
So there are probably a handful of beings on this earth currently in the year 2025 who are actually enlightened and in bliss 24/7. And those are the gurus. Those are like the God realized people, not just self realized, but God realized.
Yeah. They don't have toddlers asking them questions every 5 minutes.
No.
I can't stay in any state for longer than a very short period of time. Well, my question then, I don't know if we want to talk about practices related to these koshas.
Mm.
Like, so when we talk about all of these layers, right? And there are ways to, quote, clean each of them or access them or
Activate.
allow them to activate, flourish. Are there practices that you can recommend or touch on related to this one or the one we talked about prior?
Interestingly, what always keeps coming to mind, I mean, this is an Ayurveda and yoga podcast, so naturally, I'm going to say living in accordance with nature's laws, respecting, the circadian rhythm, that your body, again, like knowing that you are part of this universe, that you're not separate. The sun comes up, that's when you're up. Sun goes down, that's
Mm-hmm.
when you're winding down. We're all breaking the rules all the time. So we know a lot of this stuff is super commonsensical. The ways to balance and activate and strengthen each layer of our being are all the things we talk about all the time with our dinacharya. And it relates to creating the boundaries with our energy and not overextending ourselves, and, having a harmonious lifestyle where we are not chronically fatigued and not chronically depleted,
Yeah.
because most of us are, that's just the
Mm-hmm.
reality.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, part of it is external, but I think we also kind of do it to ourselves too. Like I think we our ego kind of gets addicted to this idea of, look at how productive I am. Like, look at how much I've gotten done today. Like, that's a
Yeah.
valuable day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've made good use of my time.
And the completion feels good.
Right.
Yeah.
And not realizing there's also like so much value and productivity in empty space and not doing anything, and
Mm-hmm.
creating that awareness that, like, if you didn't do anything work related for 2 weeks and you were with your family for over the holidays and you were having a great time, staying up late with your family and eating whatever you wanted, and it gave you happiness and it gave you like lifelong memories, and you're happy,
Mm-hmm.
that's also super valuable and productive for your energetic body.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really important, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that, and also the discipline, like most of the time, again, 75% of the time, hopefully you are practicing yoga, the yamas and niyamas. You're not,
Mm-hmm.
lying, and you're not stealing, and you're not overly indulging. You're eating the proper amount of food. You're
Mm-hmm.
not you and you just know these things. Like, again, like I just feel
Right.
like I'm giving such common sense things, but this is what keeps our consciousness clean, because our consciousness lives in, we were talking about that word vehicle, how the body's the vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
but we also know the mind body connection. We know
Yeah.
that all of this is connected. So when the digestion's off and the sleep is off, of course, the consciousness and the thought, the quality of the thoughts you're going to think and the quality of your breath is going to change. And it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be more difficult to experience the bliss within yourself, and even believe that your essence is bliss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, it's so much easier to like just become cynical about
Totally.
life.
Yes. Yes. I mean, even just before we were recording, I was talking about how terrible my sleep has been for a while. My kid's been in a phase of waking up all the time. And I start most days like kind of pissed, or I like irritable already with like often my partner, because he's next to me and deserves it. I'm just kidding. No, but like it's just hard to start off your day being like, oh, life, let's throw open the
Yeah,
curtains
Mary
and see what's out
Poppins.
there for me. Most days I'm like, okay, how am I gonna, stumble into the kitchen? It can be really difficult when you're missing those very, very basic things. You just start off, you get clouded, or you just feel like you're in debt,
Yes.
already. Like you start off in
Sleep
debt.
debt. Sleep debt.
Hmm.
So real.
Yeah, and it accumulates. It's a lot. So, I mean, I'm just using sleep as an example for me, but then it does make it more difficult to make better judgments about things or to not lose your temper or to, and then that all has this effect, right?
Yep.
I will snap at my kids more likely than other days when I've been more well rested. And then that sets them off on something. And then like it's just this cycle. So,
Mm.
Yeah, the
I
very
just want to give you a
basics.
hug.
Ah.
I just think like that's, moms are the unsung heroes of society. Like it's almost like moms need moms. It's not even almost, it is like moms are mothering and then moms need to be mothered because
Mm-hmm.
you're giving it all to your kids who's, you know, of course you're going to feel empty because you're giving it all. You're nurturing, you're caretaking, and
Yeah.
they always come first. And it's I work with enough moms to know that this is a universal experience for moms. This is, every mom feels this. You're not alone. Like and
Yeah.
it just needs to be brought out of the place of, oh, that's normal. Like we normalize it. We normalize a lot of things that are like not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
just the way it is. Like when they're young, and then you'll get into
Yeah.
another phase. But it's actually like, aren't we a species that is always looking to improve and learn and grow and make
Mm-hmm.
things better? And I believe moms deserve more support. And that's, we could go down a whole,
Oh yeah.
rabbit hole on
Yes.
that. But
Mm-hmm.
in this case, with moms that are experiencing the imbalance of their body, and not for any fault of their own, just by
Mm-hmm.
the mere job. It's in the job description. It's almost like when you sign up
Yeah.
to be a mom, in the job description is like, you will be working how many hours a week with how many hours of sleep per night, like
With no pay.
with no pay. Like that's the
Yeah.
job.
No.
Are you
Zero
available?
value.
Yeah, it's
Absolute
like,
zero value. Yeah.
and I think that's why they say it takes a village to raise a child, because
Mm-hmm.
how could you possibly be expected to do all of that by yourself? That's
Uh-huh.
so
I mean,
much work.
it used to be a village. It did.
It should be a village.
Uh-huh.
And so to that, I would say, like, knowing when you got to raise your hand and tap
Yeah.
out, like knowing when you got to raise your hand and say, no, I need to go to a yoga class, or I need to just close the bedroom and like lay on my bed and stare at the
Mm-hmm.
ceiling,
Yeah.
like something, or go for a walk by yourself, or just
Yep.
do anything for yourself, literally anything, take a bath. But don't wait until the red siren goes off. And most moms do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you think you can handle it and you think you can push through it, and you keep wanting to push through it. You love your kids. You want to keep pushing through it.
Yeah.
But at what cost for your own, like, health?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you just got to keep, the reminders are the same, but they're important because we
Yes.
forget
Yeah, they are.
anyway. We keep forgetting.
Yeah. And a lot of it too is just kind of like it's like the whisper becomes a scream at some point too. It isn't, I don't think that I'm often like ignoring the flags, but sometimes like you just don't recognize that they're happening until it hurts, like you don't really see the signs until the siren goes off because you're like, oh shit, I haven't. It's like it can be such a gradual thing sometimes. So that's hard too. But yes, the reminders constantly, yeah, we need them. Anyway, we don't have to go down a mom rabbit hole, but
Yeah, I'll just say one thing about, like, oh, then it hurts, is thank God it does hurt. Because if your body wasn't even letting you know, then you would keep going, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
pain is a great communication system that will force you in some instances to finally give yourself that break that you need. Being a mom
Yeah.
is a absolute full, it's like the fullest time job that there is. And nobody's giving you the breaks. You kind of got to like figure out how to give yourself the breaks.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
one of those things of like life school that nobody really knows until you're in it. And you got to just figure it out with your body, your resources, your situation. And it's so important to have community and other women to talk through it with. So yeah, that's the Koshas.
Mhm. Yeah. Anything you wanna say to summarize them?
I think how I would want to close it out is, isn't it amazing that what we've been taught our whole lives is that we just have this body, and we've always just thought, oh,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just this thing that we walk around in and sleep in and eat,
Mhm.
food. And it, like, we exist in this thing, this, I don't even know what to call it. Yeah, we said vehicle,
The
but
vessel.
vessel. And there's so much more to it. And we didn't know, when we were younger, we didn't know. And now we have this not it's this knowledge has been around for many thousands of years, but it wasn't not as much awareness was being brought to it and why it was important. And now we know how important it is. And as this knowledge reaches more people, we talk about this more just by merely learning about it and knowing it now. Like now we know there's more to this body than we thought. I think it's just incredibly empowering for people to rethink and reframe what a body is and what that word means. And it's not just like a bunch of water and blood and organs and skin, it's there's more subtle dimensions that people feel but are just not aware of exactly how to think about it. So this gives you a way to understand if you're not breathing well, if you're not having positive thoughts, if your mind feels foggy or unclear, and if you feel kind of stuck in conditioning that isn't who you truly are and you don't know who you truly are, now you know why. Isn't that cool? Now there's a way to understand it. Really put it on a board, like really you can literally draw it.
Little nesting doll.
I think Aaron and I, we probably did this in our notes when we were doing our first 200 hour teacher training of the outer shell of the body, and then draw it, like understand it, and have this newfound relationship, deeper relationship with the body that you were given upon your birth. And now you can work with it in a much more holistic and conscientious way. And knowing why you don't feel well is like the first step in feeling well.
I also think it helps. I mean, I always go back to this, and I said this about the chakra system earlier too. I think also just having that framework with like different categories and it's like a way to organize it that helps it feel, more attainable to achieve something. It makes troubleshooting easier, right? It makes the achieving of the goal easier when you know that you can, by process of elimination. Oh, it's not it's this specific area, and there are specific things I can do to target this issue or this goal that I have, right? Just having it not be this one large body with all of these million complex things inside it. It's like, well, yes, it's your body, but then it's also broken into 5 major categories. Okay. And then you can look at it this way. It just helps make it a lot more attainable when you can kind of categorize things differently and troubleshoot it in specific ways, right? As opposed to just one big long list that's not organized, and like daunting, right? You're like,
it's overwhelming. Like it's a mess. Like, like there's so much. Now you can clearly kind of compartmentalize. Okay, the food body, well, that's the food you're eating, right? Like your Anandamaya Kosha, your physical body, like what are you eating? How are you eating? When are you eating? In the most simplistic way, that is how you balance the Anandamaya Kosha. Eat good quality food, home cooked when you can, all the things we talk about in Ayurveda all the time. Eat foods that are compatible with your constitution. Work with an Ayurvedic practitioner or a nutritionist or a diet, but really, really learn about what foods are best for you, what foods are easiest for you to digest, and how much to eat, when to eat, all these things. And pranamaya, first of all, awareness of the breath. Where are you breathing? There's pranayama, there's actual breathwork techniques. We can talk about Kapalabhati, Nadi Shodhana, Shitali, like lunar breath versus solar breath, many, many yogic techniques for strengthening the pranamaya kosha. Manamaya, meditation, baby. It doesn't get better than meditation. If you can meditate, I don't care if it's 5 minutes a day, start somewhere, but sit, let the thoughts come, let them go. Clean them. Just clean them out. We need hygiene for our mind, just like we need hygiene for our body. So meditation is the key for the Manamaya Kosha. Then when we get to the more subtle, the Vigyanamaya, the false conditioning, talk therapy, man. I mean, counseling, like talk with like that, and journaling, self-study, svadhyaya. You got to just study yourself, know why you have that trigger. Like
Totally.
understand like
Belief.
where that,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
like where does all that come from? And then transcend it, not just understand why, oh, you childhood trauma. Okay.
Right.
Now you
Right.
know. And now how do we transcend it? Now we got to like,
Mm-hmm.
we can't be shackled to that for the rest of our lives. We can't continually just make that as our excuse. We have to burn that karma. We have to build our resilience and let it go.
Yeah.
Then we become free of that. And then we can actually experience what it is to have the Vigyanamaya Kosha. And
Mm-hmm.
because most people don't get that far, right? In their lifetime, they don't get to the fourth layer, let
Mm-hmm.
alone the fifth. I mean, you might get glimpses of the fifth every now and again, maybe a handful of times, in your life. But yeah, I think that answers your question.
I think so too. Do you want to shift to the chakras, which is a different system? And we obviously
Yes.
won't get through it today, but we can introduce it and then start diving in next time.
We will do like, let's go through them all.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll probably do a similar thing where we'll talk about the chakra this time. We'll do like a run through, and then we'll probably go deeper into the practices that balance each chakra in the follow-up episode. Because
Yep.
again, like it's so hard to, some podcasts like to do these like 20-minute like splurges of knowledge, which is wonderful. And I know people have really short attention spans nowadays. And like sometimes you just want to like get the goods and you just want to like download it in 5 minutes. And
Mm-hmm.
that's beautiful, but that's not really how I teach. I mean,
Yep.
if I have to, I will, but we don't have to because we we are the creators of the reality that we want, and we're architecting a
Mm-hmm.
reality where we can have the time and the leisure, the luxury, I should say, to like leisurely go through and go deeper into these topics because they are deep and they require a lot of thought and a lot of reflection. And as
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about it, I'm sure like I'm thinking about my life, you're thinking about your life and where this all fits in it. And it's applying
Mm-hmm.
the knowledge, right? It's not just, so the first chakra is the Muladhara. The color is red.
Right.
The corresponding
Mm-hmm.
element is earth. And da, 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
And that's beautiful. The knowledge is really important, but how do you know if your Muladhara chakra is not balanced? You have trust issues. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Yeah.
gets,
Yeah.
it's
And then
deep,
there are things to do about it.
right?
Yeah.
And then there's things to
Yeah.
do about it. So let's start the chakras by saying, let's define the word chakra. So the
Yeah.
word chakra means wheel. That's what a chakra is. It's a
Mm-hmm.
wheel. What do wheels do? They spin. So the more activated a wheel is, like the faster a wheel is going, or like the faster you're going in the car, the faster the wheel is spinning. So we're talking about energy here. This isn't something you normally see in your day-to-day life. There are some people who can see this when they're doing holotropic breath work
Mm-hmm.
or when they're using psychedelic plant medicines
Mm-hmm.
or when they are like some people see it like I think like Wim Hof talks about seeing the chakras when he's doing his cold plunges. But you have to be in a certain state of consciousness to be able to perceive this subtle anatomy. But they do have color and they do have different sounds, different
Mm-hmm.
like seed sounds, bija mantras, and they look different. And they're located at specific parts of your body along the spine. So
Mm-hmm.
we always start at the base of the spine when we're talking about, and we work our way up. So like at the tailbone is the Muladhara. Mula means root. So rooted, what roots us in our lives, what, basic food, shelter, sense of tribal belonging, where are we in the world? All these things correspond with that root chakra. And and it's true. I mean, you can't really build upon any of the other chakras without a really stable initial chakra. All the other corresponding chakras will be affected by the state of the first one. So we
Yeah.
really focus on that. Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to like hierarchy of needs. If this is like a very basic like psychology
Yes.
101 thing, there's like that pyramid, and at the bottom is home related stuff. Your like place in this where you are rooted, and not necessarily just geographically or anything like that, but having that sense of security, like just your feet on the ground, right? And I mean, this when you're traveling a ton, or when you've moved a lot, or when you're, if you grew up in a family that was moving a lot, or just, you had to go from home to home. I think of kids of divorced parents, right? Shifting back
Yes.
and forth to homes. You think about how much that can affect somebody. This is not like a thing about divorced people. This is me saying generally moving around from home to home. You can imagine that could make one feel unstable at
Yes.
times, right? And you have to think about how to balance that out. So it's just like at this very, very basic level, this feeling of like, I know where I am sleeping at night. I have a place that I feel like I can unpack my clothes, or just that I'm surrounded by people that make me feel like home, even if your home does need to change a lot and you're a person that lives on the road. There are people that do, right? Home doesn't necessarily have to be a place, but it needs to be a feeling that you can have within yourself, right?
And you know what that feeling really boils down to?
Hmm.
Safety.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. That you're
That's really what
safe.
yes.
Yes. Again, you could live, travel every week, every day, like you don't have to have a home. You don't have
Right.
to have a
If you
house. You
feel
don't have to
safe,
have,
it's
you
all
could, you could
good.
literally live out of your suitcase and go from country to country, or, and this lifestyle, you've done it sometimes, right? And if you can
That's me.
find home within yourself and you feel safe, if you're like, I'm good, I feel secure in myself, I feel safe, I know I'm okay. Like you could have a really fucking strong root chakra and feel like you have everything you need. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, I'm not saying you need to have a down payment on a home and you need to stay in that one place to feel rooted. Like it's not that at all. You can have roots absolutely nowhere, but still have them within yourself.
Beautifully said. That was really, really beautifully said.
Sometimes I
Mm.
sometimes I drop some wisdom. Okay, so that's root. Where is that located if we're talking about location?
The
Like at the
tailbone.
actual, yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yep. The very, very base of the spine. And then as you go up,
Oh, and red, right?
yes, like a deep earthy red,
Hmm.
like a
So that's,
mahogany-ish, maroonish.
and we can of course go through more of them, but I think something that's helpful, I mean, just thinking of the ways that you can create that balance. Say you are a person that's traveling like crazy, or like you are, just even the holidays, if you've been around, or, you haven't been home in a while or whatever, if you aren't feeling that security, even things like wearing red, or introducing certain scents or smells, or having certain objects related to like that color, or, I'm sure there's a long list of things of Ayurvedic things in terms of food and spices and feelings and colors, like all of these things. I'm sure you can incorporate those in to help you feel balanced if it is out of balance. And it's not just, it isn't just like, oh, if you don't feel like home, there's nothing you can do about it. Like there are simple things that you can bring into your life that allow that balance to happen.
Absolutely. Lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
things, spiritual practices, specific yoga asanas, like specific
Mm-hmm.
postures,
Yeah.
things that literally simulate the sensation of being rooted into the earth, right? Feet planted into the earth, feeling
Mm-hmm.
roots, planting, using these words like planting the palms,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Feeling the weight of the earth. Like these things all gives you that sense of safety.
Mm-hmm. And it's why often yoga classes are structured in such a way where you establish that before you start moving around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You start your practice with, you sit there, close your eyes, you meditate, you feel your sits bones in the ground, or before you're doing these standing series and doing these flows and stuff like that, like establish the feeling of your feet in the ground, your butt on the ground, right?
Establish the
Like
feeling of
feel all of
safety.
that. Yes. Yeah. Before you're balancing on one foot, feel your foot in the ground.
Feel
Know how
your
it,
foot.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Learn how to just make that, like, not just your foot, your toes, the corners of your feet, your heel, the arches, all of that stuff. Like you have to establish that grounding from the base up before you can do a handstand.
Mm.
Or just even a basic flow of some kind. So there's a reason that there's that establishment of grounding before moving on to anything else.
Yes, it
right?
is the foundation. It literally, I mean, it's another word for foundation. Earth, foundation, root. These are the things that help us feel like even when scary things come, we can handle it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah.
unknown, I mean, truly, there's a lot more unknown in this reality than there is known. So for those of
Yeah.
us dealing with chronic anxiety, that's why, because we don't know what will happen tomorrow sometime. I mean, like to
Mm-hmm.
a certain extent, right? To a certain extent. Of course, we have schedules. Yes, we wake up, we eat, we go to work or we go to school or we go, have certain schedules, but there's always going to be that a little bit of margin of error of like we don't necessarily know. So we will always plan and do our best with what we know. And
Mm-hmm.
then when we hit something that we weren't expecting, if we have a very, very strong Muladhara chakra,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like it's going to uproot us or like we're going to be all
Right.
disheveled about it. It's just going to be like, okay, well, that's fine. Like
Mm-hmm.
it really
Mm-hmm.
won't bother. But for someone who is already not feeling very safe and feeling strongly rooted, unknown is you just go into a panic, like a state of panic
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
something changes or you don't know how to fix something, like the solution isn't so clear cut and it's going to take some time to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like, you know.
And do you think I'm relating this to the doshas too
Mm.
a bit? And
Vata,
I don't
yeah.
want to confuse things or make things more complex, but I feel, I'm wondering if there's a connection between, like, I think about the root chakra and then I think about kapha people and I think about vata people, right? Like people that have imbalances in vata or kapha. I mean, pitta too, sure. But I think like a strong kapha person, I don't know if that necessarily means they have a strong root chakra. It's not like if this, then that necessarily, but maybe they have an easier time not being swayed by all the vata craziness and all of that. Like, and it does relate to that the practices are somewhat the same. If you have an imbalance of vata or if you're feeling imbalanced in your root chakra, there are a lot of the similar practices that you can do to feel grounded and to find that kapha in your body. But and I don't even know if I'm saying anything eloquent here, but I can't help but think about how kapha people, and I'm simplifying, kapha people versus vata people, and how they would respond differently to imbalances in your chakras.
Well, you're thinking because you're smart and you're seeing patterns. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good. I'm happy that you've made that connection because it's true. What do
Yeah.
kapha people and the Muladhara chakra have in common? The earth element.
Yes. Yeah.
So you've
Ground.
made a really strong inference, I should say, that like kapha people naturally, this is just by their nature, they didn't have to do anything to create a solid Muladhara chakra. They are naturally
Mm-hmm.
born with it. Now they can
Yeah.
go through life and have traumas just like anybody else, and that
Yeah.
Muladhara chakra can get weakened, and then their predominant dosha, even though they're born with predominance of kapha, they can become a vata person. That's their
Right.
vikriti. So lots of
Mm-hmm.
kapha people, like they look kapha on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
but life changed their nature,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
not their true nature, but their current nature, the way that they feel is not in alignment with their design, with how they were
Mm-hmm.
designed to feel.
Mm-hmm.
So making that distinction is also really important because sometimes we'll think, oh, you're kapha, why are you anxious? That doesn't
Mm-hmm.
fit.
Mm-hmm.
No, not necessarily. You get enough storms and a tree's branches, or like, first the leaves will start to fall off, right? The storm comes, the leaves will start to fall off. After a while, like if that tree is being, first of all, if it's in an environment where the roots are not like let's say, I don't know, there's just think about nature. Like it's the
Mm-hmm.
best metaphor. Like how does a tree stay solid in the earth even during a tornado.
Mm-hmm.
But then enough tornadoes come, the strongest tree even, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tornadoes are powerful. So Vata should never be underestimated, even though Kapha is very, very strong as well. What we subject ourselves to, what we allow, like that's why we have to have strong boundaries. And Kapha people, usually because their nature, they have so much in the tank to give. They give
Mm-hmm.
and they give and they give and they give and they give and they give.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the giving tree. What's left after the end of that story? There's a stump left.
Mm-hmm.
The tree's gone. I know. It's like my favorite book of all time, first of all. And second of all, it's the saddest book,
Mm-hmm.
saddest kids' book ever. But that is the nature of Kappa people, that book.
Yeah.
I mean, Kappa people are just naturally very giving, very
Mm-hmm.
generous. And it's
Mm-hmm.
really, really important to know that everyone has that ability to lose that core root strength. So we can't take it for granted, even if we were born with a surplus. That surplus
Mm-hmm.
can also be subject to change.
Mm-hmm.
And I also wanted to
Yeah.
say that at the Muladhara chakra, that's also the seat of Kundalini Shakti.
Mm.
That's an important thing to note, because through yoga and all the techniques, the asana, pranayama, kriyas, we are waking that Kundalini up from the Muladhara. And as that Kundalini rises, the other
Mm-hmm.
chakras begin to activate. And
Mm.
we get to experience a different quality of prana as a result, a different quality of consciousness as a result. So it really starts at the root. And
Yeah.
it's like where the infinite potential of us is in that root, in that
Mm.
Kundalini Shakti. But it's also all the root of all fear is also there, because
Hmm.
all fear is about the unknown, and the unknown is also infinite potential,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the unknown
Mm-hmm.
and infinite potential are the same thing.
Right. Yeah. So the perspective matters on
Yes.
how that's feeling for you. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's the Muladhara in a nutshell. I mean, it could keep going deep, and people do satsangs and truly you can do a very, very long sit with one word in the Yoga Sutras, or one sutra, or just the word Muladhara, and deconstructing the Sanskrit of that Mula
Mm-hmm.
and Dhara. And wow, I mean, I have the capacity to really, really go deep with all of this knowledge, but for the purposes of keeping the episode going, it's important to
Yeah.
kind of give people like a taste of, okay, Muladhara is really important. Anandamaya Kosha is really important. This is like where it begins, like taking care of the body, the physical body, making sure we're eating good food, making sure we're digesting it well, making sure we feel safe. Because guess what? If we don't feel safe, how do you think our digestion's going to go?
Mm-hmm.
Rest and digest. There's a reason why that's like such a common terminology. We cannot
Yeah.
digest unless we rest.
All right. Well, lots more to be said about that. I say we start concluding here because
Yeah.
there's 7 chakras in total.
Yes. And oh my gosh, it's past 10 p.m. here.
Yeah. Go to bed.
Yeah.
So let's dive into chakras more next time. In the meantime, everybody know that it's like this beautiful rainbow from base to tip. 7 different systems, or not, I shouldn't say systems, 7 different, I guess,
Energy vortexes. Yeah.
energy vortexes. Yeah. Yeah. I think it'll be really helpful to continue going through those. So save your questions for next week, and we'll continue diving into those. But
Love it.
I hope you are feeling grounded and rooted. I know you are about to uproot soon.
See, the thing is, you can create roots through
Mm-hmm.
intentions. So intention, if you have a very, 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 very solid sankalpa, that becomes your root. So even when you're traveling and your environment is shifting a lot, you're very, very grounded. in why it is you're shifting a lot, right? And your resilience, your ability to adapt and go with the flow is because your capacity has expanded. And that is the journey of yoga too, is creating more tolerance within yourself, creating more, so the boulder doesn't feel like a boulder anymore. If there's boulders that come on your path, okay, you literally you start becoming more like a river, and you flow with all of it versus fighting it, or having a panic, or because traveling and yoga, traveling is like one of the best ways to learn what yoga is really about, because it's constant recalibration of whether there's delays, or we talk about this all the time. Like traffic is a great one for those of you who commute to work every day. But that's just really the tip of the iceberg with the chakras. We have 6 more, and it just keeps getting more interesting. And I hope everyone's enjoying this subtle anatomy series, starting the new year off with like all these new words and all these new concepts. And I hope it's helpful for people. And Erin, I'm really excited to see you.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
See you very
enjoy
soon.
We'll talk more about that, of course, later this week, but enjoy your last week there. Got one more good one to go. Take it all in. I know you will.
Wild.
Yeah. I'm not going to make you cry at 10 p.m. But yeah, I know you're really going to enjoy every moment. So soak it in.
Thank you, darling.
All right. Well, I will let you get to bed. Don't work on YouTube.
I know. I really have to go to sleep. Sasha,
Close
go to sleep.
Laptop.
Sasha, go to sleep. Yes.
All right. Well, I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Get some rest.
Love you. You too.
Tomorrow.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Before you go, if you're ready to dive deeper into your healing, check the show notes to book a 45-minute exploratory call with me. If you mention you're a subscriber of the podcast, you'll get 50% off your initial intake consultation. A 2-hour deep dive, normally $400, now just $200. You'll also find exclusive 20% discounts on trusted Ayurvedic herbs from Kerala Ayurveda and Gary & Son. Just click the links to apply the savings automatically. Ojas Oasis is a labor of love, a podcast born from a deep desire to share the timeless wisdom of Ayurveda, Vedic ritual, and holistic healing with seekers around the world. Every episode is carefully crafted to bring you inspiring conversations, ancient insights, and practical tools for living a radiant, balanced life. If the show has nourished your spirit, helped you feel more seen, or guided you on your healing path, you can now support our work by buying us a coffee or golden milk. Your support goes directly toward producing high-quality episodes, keeping the podcast ad-light and mission-focused, expanding our offerings to serve you even more deeply, and whether it's a one-time cup or a monthly offering, we are so grateful. Click the link in the show notes to support the podcast and keep the wisdom flowing.